It's been a minute since I've reminded you how much I love this city. I have to remind myself that every day. No, I don't have to. It's just the getting out and the exploring that reminds me of it. And one of the things that I've been enjoying doing a lot lately has been getting out and exploring without Cooper. And for those of you that want to see Cooper, you'll see Cooper here in a second. I just wanted to talk about how it's different with or without the little guy. For those of you that don't know, Cooper is my dog. I have a little Boston Terrier here in Paris, and he's great. He adds a lot to my life. And he's a very good dog. I enjoy him a lot. But walking him, I can show you an example here. Walking him can be distracting and more than just a little annoying. The thing about walking Cooper is he's a dog, and I recognize this. The things that kind of drive me a little bit crazy are that he wants to sniff and pee on everything, which is not necessarily a problem. I mean, that's what dogs do, right? But if it happens every 10 to 15 steps, it does inhibit the whole exploring the city vibe. And I've come to realize what I struggle with most in the whole thing is guilt. Like, guilt about leaving him behind, because ultimately, I can take Cooper pretty much everywhere I go. It's a common question whether or not Cooper's allowed to go anywhere with me, and the reality is, in Paris, we're pretty spoiled, because he does go like bars, restaurants, cafes. There are only a few places he's really not allowed. The funny thing about restaurants in Paris too is that he'll get water before I do. In 90% of places, they'll ask like, oh, does your dog want a dog bowl? And they'll bring him water. And if you've been in Paris for any given period of time, you know how many times you have to ask for your own carafe d'eau, your own pitcher of water before they may never bring it to you. This little guy, thankfully, never goes thirsty. I can take him into pharmacies, but not doctor's offices. Supermarkets are another one that he's not allowed in. Like doctor's offices and supermarkets are the big ones. Pet stores, however, very welcome. Generally, he's not allowed in theaters, but I have managed to sneak him into a couple, mostly because of this guy. I even managed to get him into a nightclub one time when he was a puppy. Don't know how he managed that, probably because he was really tiny and cute. And I've never tried that again. I don't need to do that again. We can take the metro, but I still prefer my bike. Biking is still my favorite way to get around town. Fresh air, a little bit of exercise, less energy than walking, and way less crowded than the metro. Cooper likes it too. But overall, Paris is a really dog-friendly city, and the French tend to be very dog-friendly people. It's really easy to get around. That doesn't mean that everybody's always dog-friendly, of course. But overall, having a dog here, like I feel really spoiled. I don't know if I'd be able to survive having a dog in any other city after the experience that I've had here in Paris. But I do find myself occasionally feeling a little bit reluctant to hop on my bike with Cooper, largely because I don't know, my shoulders get sore. Thanks to today's Patron producer, Tim Brush, for making it possible to share all these Cooper stories with you. He's also welcome in most stores, which is really nice. I don't know that I've been in any stores that have kicked us out. The only thing that annoys me is when I go into like a restaurant or a store and they kick us out, and it's not that they do it, it's how they do it. That's actually one of my biggest pet peeves with living in France in general, is usually it's not what they're saying, it's how they're saying it. Like, it's not that you say no, how you say no. The example being like, you go into a place after having had a dog for almost 3 years and taking him to 99% of the restaurants that I go to, and you go to some like kebab and they're like, no restaurants allow dogs in. Like, you good luck finding anywhere that allows a dog in. And you're like, bro, I live here. And you get into a really stupid argument where the guy just pulled that out of his butt and lied to you because he felt uncomfortable telling you he just doesn't want. We all need to learn how to set good boundaries. That's part of the point, which actually brings us to ultimately the benefit of all the struggles with owning a dog. We're out to do this Solex tour today. These Solex bikes are like old classic French bikes, like the precursor to, I guess, today's modern electric bikes, in that the motor on the front of this thing was actually like a diesel engine. These were first designed back in the 40s, and of course the exhaust would kick right back up into your face. You can understand how it would be really helpful to get around town, but also loud, noisy, and stinky. Anyways, they've redone them into electric engines, which is really, really cool. They're actually pretty comfortable despite the fact that they sit really low, and it's been a fun way to bop around town. Really enjoyed it. I did think about bringing Cooper with me, like in his backpack, but the thing is that like 2 hours, Cooper on the shoulders, he may be small, but that adds up, especially with my backpack kind of digging into my back. This is kind of inspiring me to want to get something a little bit even more electric than the current bike that I have and get it figured out so that maybe he could sit on the back. A little Cooper platform behind me could be great. But for today, I thought, you know what? I'll leave him behind. In the end, the struggles that I have in owning a dog are a gift. When I'm feeling annoyed with him, it's not his fault. It's not that it's my fault necessarily either, but it's a sign that things may not be right. Maybe I'm stressed, maybe I'm struggling, because he's always the same. Yes, he's a little bit needy. Yes, he's pretty clingy. He would be with me literally all the time. But that's also a gift because it gives me the opportunity to practice setting boundaries, to practice not projecting my own inner battle with the way that I was raised and the struggles I have from my childhood, etc., on a dog who doesn't know any better. He just wants to hang out, which at the end of the day is actually really, really cute, really, really sweet, and not something I should be complaining about. Not to say that I won't complain about it occasionally, because I still will, because I need my space. But then it's on me to take that space. And the real gift here, in case it's not really clear, is that the fact that I get to practice all of this with a dog who's not offended when I'm annoyed, when I'm a little bit irritated with him, when I maybe am not the nicest to him all the time. I will confess sometimes I call him a little booger face. You know, there are moments that I wouldn't get away with human relationships. The blessing here is that I have an opportunity to work these things out with the furry little guy who's gonna love me no matter what, and who still wants to snuggle with me, even if I call him Coffee McWiggles, or Snorty McSnoodleface, or whatever else I've happened to call him in those moments where I'm like, can you just stop sniffling for 5 seconds and be quiet? And then I can breathe, take a break, walk away, and recognize, hey, in these moments, maybe shut up, and be nice to the dog. Also, the one time that I'm carrying an umbrella with me, it said it was gonna be raining all night, and yeah, Paris. You can't trust the weather forecast around here. So I'm gonna keep exploring Paris. Sometimes with Cooper, sometimes without him. And it's funny how like the gift of having a dog, like so many of the things that I've learned and the ways that I've been able to grow through the experience of having this cute little guy, is by having this feedback between the two of us that lets me know, oh, I need to change, I need to grow. Because it forces it, it puts it right in your face. And how funny that one of the greatest gifts this little guy could give me is the gift of realizing how much I do enjoy being alone, how much I enjoy my own time and my own space, even away from a screwy little floofernugan like this guy. I guess when I got a dog, I expected to learn a lot and to grow a lot. I did definitely expect that, but I never would have guessed half the ways that I have. And for that, I'm deeply grateful. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna go drop this guy off at home and go hunt for some Space Invaders all by myself. Yo.